big challenges you have is commercialization of that research in Australia.
Absolutely.
To be quite honest, there is very little help. And when we started about 37 years ago, it was very much how do you keep that in Australia. Now, in the Australian context, to try and get government assistance, I think was nigh impossible.
Well, there isn't anything that I'm aware of anyway that covers that what they call the last mile.
Yeah.
And in reality, the last mile is a lot more than a mile, and that is the commercialisation side. I mean, we are fantastic as a country in doing the basic R&D. We are punching well above our weight.
Second to none.
Yeah, but when it comes to actually commercialising that, we are laggards, and there are many reasons for that, but I think one of the big ones is you have such a small market relative to any of the other markets overseas that you could attract. You also do not have a VC market in this country anywhere near what exists overseas. So both of those factors are lacking, and realistically it means that we have to turn to the government. But where the government is not successful, I think, in this area, comes down to they don't have any programs to try and link industry with the research community.
But the importance of that government support, the importance of the government interacting with companies like us, it can't be emphasized, because if you don't, you lose these companies. Now, if it's just a question of losing these companies to overseas, that's a disaster. But more than that is the fact that these companies disappear. Yeah. And with that disappears the innovation.
Not only do you lose that company and all of the people that go with that, but you then have to buy back those products at the inflated price, 10 times, 20 times the price of that original work that was done and paid for by the Australian government.
But what was really refreshing in Singapore was the Economic Development Board. They had the unique task of interacting with companies. They would come in there, and their approach was, what do you want for you to be able to establish yourself in? Not, this is what we have, so you've got to fit in. And that was such a refreshing thing, because you'd go in there, sit down with them, official meeting, government, public servants. They would then, you would then say, for me to exist here, I need A, B, C, D, E. They would then go away and then get universities, the buildings available, facilities available, etc., and bring all those parties together and then say to you, come and meet these people, meet them individually, tell me what we need to do to try and facilitate this, and then they actually gave us a grant, albeit a very small grant, but significant enough for us to be able to start doing something in Singapore.
And the US is different again. The US, there you've got huge markets, and the difference between Australia and the US is the size of the market, therefore the depth of some of these markets that in this country you could not make a living out of, you can quite nicely make a living out of in the US.
You're trying to do something for your own country, and I think it's incumbent on the government to help you, because if the government doesn't help you, then you're forced to look overseas.